Hello everyone and welcome to this video. Now today I'm going to be talking a little bit about my concert experience when I went to see the Stone Roses, which was yesterday at Hampden Park in Glasgow. So yeah, in this video, we'll just talk a bit about my concert experience, and we'll also put a bit of footage from the show in the video. So yeah, these concert dates must have been announced I think last year sometime. I can't quite remember exactly when. I didn't get tickets as soon as they were announced. It was a few months later when I decided that I would want to go and see them. So yeah, we just drove through Hampden Park. It is a massive sort of football stadium, Scotland's national football stadium. I'd last been there 7 years ago to see Paul McCartney. So yeah, I knew the venue. I knew it was quite a large, very large capacity venue. So we got there sort of about half an hour before the doors opened. We went to get some food. Also bought this t-shirt there as well. They didn't have too many t-shirts. This was kind of the best one what they had there. There was a couple of support acts. The first one was a guy called Steve Mason, who was okay. He wasn't anything too great. And then the second one was Primal Scream, who are quite a popular band, definitely, also from Glasgow. They went down very well with the crowd. The guy knew some of their songs and that. So yeah, I thought they put on a great performance. But everyone, of course, was really there for the Stone and Roses, who came on about 8:45, I think. I think the two support acts had about half an hour each. The Stone Roses played for just under 2 hours. So yes, I'm now just going to put in a little bit of footage what I captured from the concert. A little warning here. You can hear me singing quite badly during a lot of this. I was having a good time though. So yeah, you can't really blame me for that. So yeah, a little bit of footage from the show. Okay, so now I'm just going to go over their set list. They performed like 19 songs in total. Opened, of course, with "I Want to Be Adored," like from like their like classic like debut album, like kind of like the default like Stone Roses opening number there. They then done "Elephant Stone," which was one of like the earlier like singles, like one of like my favourite songs, like the studio version. The live version like was quite good, like wasn't like as good like as like the actual studio record though. Then done "Sally Cinnamon," which went across very, very well, like very, very well, like with like the crowd, like everyone like was singing like along to that one. Then done Mersey Paradise, which is one of like their B-sides, like also like one of like their better like B-sides, like I think like a really great song there. They then done another track like from like their debut album, Song for My Sugar Spun Sister, like one of like my favourites like from that album, like that was great to hear. Then done the B-side Where Angels Play, which isn't one that I was like hugely like familiar with. Like I don't think that like most of like the crowds were. Like that one like was a little bit like off like $1 like one. That then Siege like into Shoot You Down, which is brilliant, like a great song there. Like everyone like singing like along to that. Another brilliant one was Waterfall, of course, classic song, classic song. Like what can like I say like about that? That then went into Don't Stop, which is basically just like Waterfall like played like backwards like on like the record like with like some like other lyrics. Little bit like difficult like one like for them like to do live, like also like a little bit like pointless like as well. Like I would have like maybe like preferred like something else like in like this position like off like the set. They then done Begging You, which is from their second album, The Second Coming, which is again like a good song, like not one of like my personal favourites of them. Next up was Elizabeth My Dear, which is a very short song, like less than like a minute long, like again like a little bit pointless, like why like do like this one live like unless like you're playing like the whole album like in like full like in sequence, like whatever, like it did like work, like it was like a good song, like I have to say. Then was Fool's Gold, which is a brilliant song. Like this one like was a crowd pleaser. I still personally think like it goes on like for far too long, like however like that's just me. They then done their newer song, like one of like the newer songs now, All For One, which is a good which is a good decent song, like quite basic like lyrically, like again like it's kind of like after like 20 like odd years like you thought they could come up with something like a little bit better than this, like whether like it works, like it is like a good like concert like sing-along number. Then they done Love Spreads, which is one of like the better ones like from like The Second Coming, like I like did like enjoy that one. Then like the 1-2 like sort of like punch like hit like with Made of Stone and She Bangs the Drums, which is just brilliant, like everyone like singing like along, like the crowd very like energized like for those two tracks. Like and then like the mood was like dampened somewhat like by like the song Breaking Into Heaven, like the opening track like from The Second Coming, which again like it is like a good song, like however like it doesn't like it isn't like in like the same league like as like She Bangs the Drums, like Made of Stone, like those like kinds of like Stone Cold classics. The concert then closed with This Is The One and I Am The Resurrection, which is always great to hear, like that one like done live, like especially like John Squire's like guitar playing, like just like stunning stuff. So yeah, like overall like I had like a real like great time like with this. Like I went like with like my dad. Like interesting thing like as well like is like with like most stuff like these concerts, like what like I go to, like I like tend to be like the youngest like one there, like or like youngest like one there, like or like rather like one of like the younger ones there, like and like my dad like kind of just like sort of like the average age, like whereas here like there's a lot of like young people there, like and like my dad was like one of like the oldest ones. But yeah, we both had like a brilliant time. Like I think like it was a great show. Like they really are like a good like live band, like a good solid like live band. Like I was a little bit sort of like I've heard like some like bad things like about them live. Like I think like Ian Brown, like he isn't like the greatest like vocalist like in like the world. Like I thought that like he was like pretty good like tonight though, like I have to say. Like the other like musicians like Manny Rennie and like John Squire just played like brilliantly. Like I thought like yeah, like they were like real tight like band, like I think. However, like it wasn't like until like I got home that like I was sent like a link like from like one of like my friends like James Lobban, like saying that like the Stone Roses like were like supposed to be like splitting up or something. Like apparently like Ian Brown like out like this concert like had said something like don't be sad it's over, be happy that it happened, like or like something like that. Like I like didn't like quite like hear it. Like I think like most of like the crowd like missed it, like because like he has got like a very sort of thick like Mancunian like accent. Like I like struggled like to hear like what like he was like saying like a lot of like the time. But like yeah, like apparently he said something like that which like a lot of people like took like as being like the Stone Roses like are like breaking like up again, breaking up again. Like a lot of people like real sort of like very sort of like sad like, about that. Me though, like I mean, like they aren't like really like releasing that new music. It's kind of like if like they didn't break up, like what would like they do? Like they just keep going like round and round, like doing like these same sort of like greatest hits shows and that, which are like good like for like a time. Like they've been doing it like since about like 2011. Like they got back together. Like whoever, like I think like they have got like their own sort of like families and that. Like I think like John Squire's like keen like to get back like to doing like his sort of painting like and like artwork. Like Rennie and like Manny like both have like families and that. So yeah, like I think like if like they are like calling it like a day, like that's like fine by me. Like they certainly went out like on like a high, like still like performing like really well. Okay, so that is me come to the end like of like this little concert review, concert report thing. Like hope you have enjoyed. Like I would certainly like recommend like seeing like the Stone Roses like again, like if like they do like happen like to tour like again, like so yes, I hope you have enjoyed and I will see you all next time for the next video. Goodbye.